Hello, traders, and welcome to the Friday wrap-up, March 6, 2015, and it's a Friday after the New York close. Hello, traders, it's actually 6:30 in the morning for me in Thailand. Up and early this morning, getting some work done, and then we're done for a couple of days and gonna relax and enjoy some friends and head on out. Traders, always remember that this is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Traders, let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Gilday. I'm your moderator for the Friday Wrap-Up series, which we do every Friday after the New York close. We basically go over about 15 daily charts. And we take a look at what we can expect and maybe what we missed last week and what we can expect the week coming up, and it's a lot of fun. Traders, I started trading in the year of 2006 and 2008. I retired from a wonderful 27-year career in the Fire Rescue Department out of the great state of Florida. Traders, I came to Thailand 9 days later for a 3-month holiday. Well, it's 2015, traders, and I'm still in Thailand. So I guess I'm here for good. It's a great place to trade. The Forex markets, the time zones are great. You can basically trade all 3 sessions, Asia, London, and New York. Only do about 2 hours of New York and still get a good night's rest. Traders, I do trade the markets every single trading day. Doesn't necessarily mean I take a live trade, but I am in the markets and I'm watching. I'm looking for opportunities and probabilities on my side so I can take a trade and be successful in winning that trade. As you know, we don't win every trade. All right, let's get this risk disclaimer out of the way. Forex trading is a large potential rewards, but also a large potential risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex markets. Traders, most of all, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's head on over to, well, this is like one of my favorite parts of the week when I do this series is talking about commentary, and the commentary is pretty easy this week. Not a lot to talk about. China is having some issues that's just starting to come out in the news. So we'll see how that goes as that formulates. But their numbers aren't doing too good, so China's in a little bit of a wiggle. The big news is, of course, the NFP reading was very well. And basically, if you put a trade on any dollar pair, you made between 40 and 50 pips, depending on the pair that you took. And it was, very, very adventurous. I sat back and I watched. I don't trade the news, traders. Not that I don't want to, or it's just that I'm really bad at it, and I end up losing. So, if you're not good at something, don't do it. I'm not good at trading data. I trade after the data. I trade an hour after the data, or 45 minutes after the data, but I don't trade the announcement. So we're looking forward to a exciting week coming up. I think the biggest thing we need to say is that buy the dollar, and maybe one more time, yeah, I think we should buy the dollar. The dollar is very strong, and it maintains that way. As they get closer and closer to announcing when they're going to increase interest rates, there's a lot of talk out there, and most of it is hogwash. We're probably not going to see it until the last quarter of this year at the earliest. So we're talking probably November or October. All right, in this series, we're going to go over, I should have put 15 daily charts on that slide today. And we're basically doing spatial intelligence when we look at these charts, traders. We're looking at these charts and we're looking at it to see what we're going to do come the next Asia session. What is your mindset? Even if you trade on a 15-minute chart or a 1-hour chart or a 4-hour chart. Myself, I trade a 1-hour chart. So I'm always watching what's going on lower time frames, and of course, I always watch the daily chart for my bias. All right, let's go to the first one of the day, and as usual, it is the euro dollar. The euro dollar, to my knowledge, hit an 11-year low yesterday, and it just keeps trucking on down, and down, and it's continuing to just head down. This This to me looks like this is going to be at parity by the middle of the week. And this is going to be very interesting to see how Asia and London reacts on our next trading day, which is your Sunday afternoon, and it's my Monday morning. So it's very interesting. Let's take a look at the dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss, I talked about this, that this was going to inch its way up last week, and yeah, it did. And if you took my 2 cents worth, you did very well. In the last 5 days, this has moved up from 95.10, and we're at 96.64, so 96.60, somewhere in there. So, this just is dollar strength. This has nothing to do with the Swissy. This is just dollar strength. All right, let's head on over to the pound dollar. This is a pound dollar. Okay, we have issues here. This is bearish. We know that. All right, so there's no doubt about that. Remember, we put that horizontal line in last week to show resistance. Well, it got rejected. Now look at where we're at. Now we're at 50.32, 37. And sorry for keep questioning the numbers. I am trading and doing this video off of a laptop today. So that's why it's a little bit harder for me to see the numbers, and I apologize for that. The issue here is that we're at support, and we're at some pretty heavy support. We do have room to come down, but once you get to that 1.5000 level, that's a psychological level. You're at support, so you can expect some sort of a bounce there and some sort of a movement there. So you just have to really, really keep an eye on what's going to happen here. This is going to be very interesting to watch in our next trading session. Let's take a look at the dollar yen. I don't trade the dollar yen. I use it as a tool. If you do not have the dollar index on your platform, you can always use the dollar yen as a guide. It's pretty much the same. And again, all we have here is dollar strength, and it just keeps giving us dollar strength and dollar strength. And, it just keeps hitting higher and higher. It has its red days, but pretty much the dollar is extremely strong. Like I said, I don't trade the dollar yen. I use it as a trading tool. All right, let's go over and take a look at the euro yen. And as we would expect, it is bearish. This is another pair that's going to be very interesting coming the beginning of the week. Is how is this going to react to? This is at pretty legitimate support. Even though I have to say, if you look left of the chart, we have a pretty good wide open space, except for those two candles that are at the same level. So it's a possibility this just might break through this and continue to the downside. That would not surprise me at all. So that's a pretty wide open space, and that looks like some good trading there. I would expect that in the next coming week that this is just going to come down, and it's going to break the support area that we're at right now. So my bias going into the week would be, let's sell the euro yen. All right, here's the pound yen. Pretty much the same situation. The pound has been all over the place. It's been weak, it's been strong, and right now it is neutral, to be honest with you. This has been in a range for a long time. The yen is a little bit stronger, so we're seeing a little bit more red. Just curious, if we break this support, which we're currently at, price is currently at a nice support line. If you look at that line straight across the chart, left of the chart, that's a nice support area. So it'll be interesting to see how this trades come on next session. And the other interesting part is, if it breaks it, where is it headed to? Well, this pair loves the 200 exponential moving average, but before that we have a psychological level of 179.000, and I think that's where we're going to get the big bounce if it breaks this support. If it doesn't break this support and we end up with a blue candle, the next candle, it's a good chance that this is just going to continue to the upside and continue to be bullish. So a lot of questions to be answered on our pound yen, and yes, they call it the beast. Here's our Aussie yen. Aussie yen's been sideways. Not a lot of price action out of the Aussie yen. As you can see, it's been pretty sluggish even for the announcement. So I would I'd watch this. I wouldn't. This has to do something before I would trade this. We're looking at a daily chart, and I know each candle is a lot of pips. I understand that, but we now have 5 indecision candles, 5 days of indecision in a row. So this is probably thinking and getting ready to make a pop one way or another. So we'll just have to really keep a close eye on that. Let's take a look at one of our pairs that we trade usually on a daily basis. That's the Aussie dollar. This is at support. We have a little bit of room to come down, but we are at support. I'm really curious to see how we do in our next London session and the session after that, where we'll get 2 candles and see what this does. I think this is going to break support and head down. The dollar is just really, really strong. And with the good data that came out for NFP, I can't see it doing any other thing. I think at first we're going to see red. I'm sorry, at first we're going to see blue in the next Asia session. And we know that that's profit taking. And because Asia, of course, is closed at NFP, and you're going to get profit taking from everybody else, most likely like your London traders and your U.S. traders, right? And take profit. So we might see blue in our next Asia session, London and New York, and the day might end up as a blue day, but we'll see. It's going to be very interesting to watch. This is what makes it so much fun and exciting. We're in a range. We know we're in a range, but we're looking at a daily chart. So we know that each candle, that's a lot of pips. I'm only looking for 25 pips a day. My daily bread, 25, 30 pips a day, I'm done. 20, that's fine. That's great. I'm not looking for the world, right? Just looking for what I got in front of me. All right. And we got the Euro Swiss. I don't talk about this a lot. I just decided just to put it up there and show you that it's in a range. Really didn't react to the NFP numbers. And it's just sideways, not doing a thing. These are Euro Pound. This is a pair that I normally do not trade, and this has really, really sunk, and it's taken to the downside. I remember talking about that doji that hit that 200 exponential moving average and that red candle after it. I remember it like it was yesterday, and I said, "Be careful. This could be the beginning of a huge sell-off," and that's exactly what we have, folks. We have a great sell-off here. So going into our next session, I am looking to sell the Euro Pound. Here's our New Zealand dollar. It did react to data slightly. This is, the biggest move it's made these last 2 days to the red side, so it's bearish. I'm very cautious with the New Zealand dollar. However, I am dollar strength positive, so I will be looking to sell this. I'm looking to sell this. We're not at support. This is not support yet, so we have a ways to go. So we can keep going down. We got another couple of days going down. All right, let's take a look at the dollar CAD. This is dollar CAD. I just want to show you again how strong the dollar is. I don't trade the dollar CAD very often, and look at how sideways this is. This is 2 days worth of sideways price action. And our next one, we have the Pound Aussie. I always thought this was an interesting pair to trade. Again, I don't trade it very often. I can't look at so many pairs. It's like I picked 8 that I have on my screen, and I watch 8 currency pairs. And if I hear something in the news or I hear something from another trader, I'll switch it and look at a different pair. But I basically look at just 8 pairs, and there's so many pairs out there to trade. It's really hard to keep up with it. But this is in a range. This is looking to bust this to the downside, depending on what the pound does. But I think this is going to be an Aussie move, and this is going to break this to the downside in the next session. All right, last one of the day, one of my favorite pairs to trade, and that is the Euro Aussie. When the Euro Aussie is in its mode and it's trending and it's doing its thing, it works very, very well. This is a perfect example of left of the chart. Look at left of the chart, traders. You can see support there, and you can see that we had a nice wide open space until we got to left of the chart and we see all that junk. And what happened? Price reacted to it. So it broke it and it came all the way back up at the end of the trading day. But I'm bearish in this, and I'm looking to sell this, but I would never sell this here, right? I don't trade the daily chart anyhow, but as a bias, I'm looking for this to break, and I'm looking for this to head to the downside. And traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, I want to thank you for joining us this week for the Friday wrap-up. And come and visit us at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Traders, have a great 2-day break, get some rest, enjoy time with loved ones and family, and we will catch you in the next Asia session for the market opening preview, which we do every single trading day before the London Open. Take care, traders, and bye-bye.